Hey there, Agile adventurer. Just a quick question. What if, for the price of a fancy coffee or half a pizza, you could unlock over 700 hours of the best Agile content on the planet? That's audio, video, e-courses, books, presentations, all that you can think of. But you can also join live calls with world-class practitioners and hang out in a flame war-free and AI slop-clean Slack with the sharpest minds in the game. Oh, and yes, you get direct access to me, Vasco, your Scrum Master Toolbox podcast. No, this is not a drill. It's the Scrum Master Toolbox membership. And it's your unfair advantage in the Agile world. So if you want to know more, go check out scrummastertoolbox.org/membership. That's scrummastertoolbox.org/membership. And check out all the goodies we have for you. Do it now. But if you're not doing it now, let's listen to the podcast. Hello, everybody. Welcome to this very special bonus episode here on the Scrum Master Toolbox podcast. And we have with us a guest that when I first talked with him, he was the CTO of Omniva, which is kind of the equivalent of the post office of Estonia, but is with us today as the CEO. Martti, welcome and thank you for being with us on the show.
Thank you for inviting me and welcome to everyone.
So Martti Kuldma is the CEO of Omniva and has been leading the transformation of that organization into a product-driven logistics company. A former engineer leader at Pipedrive and also former CTO, now CEO at Omniva, he brings deep expertise in scaling teams, agile transformation, and digital innovation. Martti is also a startup founder. He might want to tell you about the startup exit he's most proud about, and a passionate advocate for high-impact product organizations. So, Martti, many of our listeners will not know what Omniva is, where it comes from, and I see this beautiful set of post boxes in the background, which kind of links to this idea that it's a very old organization with a different existence a few hundred years ago. So tell us a little bit more about Omniva and also where it started when you joined.
Yeah, Omniva is Estonian national post, and Omniva is our brand because we are not operating just in Estonia, but we are actually market leaders in Latvia and Lithuania as well, in the parcel delivery last mile business. Plus, we are actually already earning about 1/3 of our revenue from international markets, where we are actually doing the middle mile in Central Europe, Eastern Europe, and Central Asia as well. Company has very old roots, like basically all the postals are quite similar. So 300-400 years ago, we had the postal network in Estonia based on the horses and the couriers. The formal company was founded in the last century, so we are a little bit more than 100 years old as a company. And until 2000, our main business was postal delivery. From there, the transformation started to become the logistics company, and Estonia was the first market where the parcel machine-based business model for the last mile delivery was actually launched in the bigger scale. So we have been building the parcel machines on the streets for the last 15 years. And after we scaled the network in Estonia, then we went to Latvia and Lithuania as well. And then the fun fact about the Latvia is that the parcel machine in Latvian is called Omniva. So you can, like the Xerox is the copier machine. So basically you can hear the conversation like I'm going to pick up the package from DHL Omniva in Latvia if you are listening in.
Very good, very good. And this kind of already, that parcel machine business already points to one aspect, which I very often talk with my clients, that, whatever the business is. For example, banks are already a software business, they just don't know it yet. And I've worked in many different organizations and business verticals, and that idea that it's already a software business, they just don't know it yet, came up many times. But from what you're describing is that despite the roots in postal delivery and logistics, Omniva has really understood and embraced this idea that software is a very big part of the growth, the innovation, and also enabling the business of the company, right?
Yeah, this is very true, and Omniva has historically been investing into software development, and then also now into like parcel machine hardware development as well. So we own the IP for the parcel machines, one model that we are operating on the local market, and our delivery team is actually close to 100 people if we look at the engineering and then product organization altogether, and plus some like analyst and designer roles. And we very clearly see the software as a separate vertical in our business, and we see the potential to actually export or how we call it, to productize the solutions that we have built for our own needs in the local market, to package them up and offer it to other like postal and logistic companies around the world. And we have a very strong foundation to do this business, because of the history. Building the completely new business model based on the parcel machine here on the local market, and this is quite unique know-how.
Yeah, and I really love that part of the story, because through the transformation that you have gone through, with you first as the CTO and now in the CEO role, you have actually transformed software development in a traditional organization from being a cost center to being an innovation, new business model and revenue center. And I think that we don't often talk about this, especially in more traditional organizations, that software isn't a cost, it's an enabler of innovation, it's an enabler of new business models. So walk us through a little bit, high level, that story. How did you come to join Omniva first as the CTO, and what were the main steps of that transformation you went through?
Yeah, I joined Omniva first as a member of the supervisory board, and 5 years ago I never dreamed that I would join a national postal like government-owned company and the old industry. Because my history, my roots are from the software, from the product organizations. I have been entrepreneur myself, as well as I have worked for the bigger and smaller corporations and startup scale-ups, and then working on the global market but how it ended up for me being the CEO here is basically in Estonia we have the naming committee system where the government is asking private sector to help out on steering their companies, and they are asking people to join the supervisory boards. And for me it was intriguing first. The first year in the supervisory board we had like monthly meetings. I really didn't really understand the business and all that, but the longer I stayed there, I understood how huge the logistic is. So, and together with the e-commerce, so we are talking about like 1/3 of the global GDP, and this is really huge. And then if you look at what is happening in logistics, so it's in a very big transformation at the moment as a business, both digitally, how the services are delivered to the customers, and through the handset, through the systems, how you can automate with AI all the like logistics planning and all that, and then also on the physical side. So yeah, already today there are technologies available on the market allowing delivery of shipments in such a way that no human hand will touch them. It's just a question when those models will become profitable on different markets. And I see that in the next 5 years, there will be a dramatic shift in how the logistics is provided. So instead of human-based couriers and sorting, more and more is going to be automated. It's not just the drone deliveries. This is cool, but I really see that ground drones are the way to go in high density areas, and not even the wheeled ones, but maybe those robotic dogs. They are really better match, like looking at the like agility and how they can operate the room, the like urban room, taking the stairs, maybe opening the doors and all that. So I see that this might be the next technology on the last mile delivery.
So when you joined as a first part of the board, then you started to see the significance of this model. Then later on, you joined as CTO, and I guess that perhaps the biggest challenge is, okay, so this is we call it rubber logistics type of company, right? Like using real trucks, real motorbikes, real cars to deliver stuff door to door, and then something changed. So when you came in as CTO, you probably already saw the challenge, but how were you able to help the organization move more towards looking at software as an enabler, as a differentiator, rather than just a cost center?
Yeah. So if you look at the old school logistics, it's very like how to say it's very like simple business. I mean, you have people manually sorting parcels. You have cars. You have people knocking on the doors, delivering stuff. And historically, you have your like own equipment. You have your own cars. You have your own people. But the problem in the market is that the demand is not constant. Not during the day, during the week, during the year. There are like peaks. There are low seasons, and because of the e-commerce boom, there are also like lots of shifts in volumes for the companies as well, because different logistic companies are bidding for the volumes. Sometimes they win, sometimes they lose, meaning that you need to be able to shift your ability to deliver, to store the packages during the very like short period of time. And here I saw the opportunity to come out with the crowd-based solutions like you have in the food delivery industry, basically common around the world, using people from the street to do the deliveries. We can do the same for everything else. And I see that logistic companies, especially the postals, have here much better like position to for efficiency, because we have the network as well. So each post office, each parcel machine, distribution center can act as a sorting and then consolidation hub. So basically, instead of delivering everything to the central location and then doing the sorting overnight, how it's usually happening in the bigger like logistic companies, we can move into a very agile model where the parcels are moving directly in the network. Like basically, if you know
peer to peer almost, right?
Yeah. So like if you know how the IP network works in the internet, so basically the same. So to have this, like each package can have its separate routing between the nodes, stored temporarily in the corner shop, maybe in the parcel machine, and then next crowd courier will pick it up and deliver the next leg, and through that get the efficiency, the speed, and also provide services when needed and where needed.
Yeah. And when we think about that, of course, the next thing is the IP network. The internet does not work without software. And I'm guessing that as part of your vision, there's a big
Exactly.
component that software enables, right?
Exactly, and this is the holy grail that needs to be solved. So if you have your own fleet, then it's pretty simple to do the routing because in the morning you know the packages that need to be delivered. You do the planning. You split the shipments between different like couriers and cars, and off they go. But with the crowd model, at any point of time, there might be a courier might pop up in the network uh, that is ready to do some like pickup tasks or deliveries for the next 2 hours, and it would mean that we need to dynamically recalculate the whole network continuously, and just one courier showing up in the network will have this like ripple effect across the whole network. And then this kind of events is happening in the network like almost like every minute.
Mm-hmm. And I think that this sets beautifully the next part of our conversation, which is that, okay, so you come in also with the ability to think how technology can enable this new vision for postal or logistics delivery, but you come in and you face a traditional organization where most of the IT was at, if I remember correctly, most of the software development and even IT operations was outsourced. So when you come in as a CTO and you see that happen, like how do you change it, right?
Yeah, so I joined as a sorry, as a CTO almost 2 years ago, and I came from a very like different industry, international, from the company, from the startup, scale up, unicorn, delivering products on the international market, with very like a growth mindset, and then I came into a government-owned organization with waterfall process, annual budgeting, procurement for the software development services, and all that. And it took me a couple of weeks to do the first round in the organization to understand, from my point of view, what we can like quickly improve. I took my team together behind the table and then said that I see um, this this and that as a problem, and then who is taking what problem to solve, and then let's go, and then nothing happened. So there were crickets, basically, and um, I really I didn't get any response at all uh, from my direct team at that time. And the second thing was that everybody was remote as well. So it was very hard to get people back to the office because they were like used to the working remotely. Um, and if we talk about the contractor model, then this is very very expensive for the companies. Uh, like it's okay to do maybe like one bigger project, but if you have the continuous need and the technology is core of your business, then continuously doing procurement for the next iteration of your core system, bringing in people uh, from completely different company, um, not evaluating any like culture and fit between the engineers and then the team. This is very very expensive because, for example, if you do a procurement for like 1 year, then first 3 months you are paying just for those like new engineers to learn your legacy systems. And as we all probably know, it takes maybe 6 to 9 months for the engineers to get up to the like productivity in the new company, to understand the tooling, the libraries, all those, mm, how the like code is structured, all that. And and after the 9 months, or 12 months they have been in the company, they have produced some value, and then they are taking your core know-how with them and then leaving the company. And that this is so expensive for us, and we decided to change that model, and started hiring our own team. And then because of my background, I was able to actually recruit from the market a quite a good team already in the first half a year. In Estonia, we have, depending how you count, but 10 plus unicorns, and for the country with 1.3 million people, it's basically like every maybe like 15 people has a connection to some like startup or like engineering job here. So we have actually people who can build stuff that can be scaled in the global market.
So you started hiring people. You understood you needed to bring software development in-house. You started hiring the people from your background, and of course, I'm sure attracting others as well. But change isn't always easy, right? Like, even though you might bring new people, it takes time. There are obstacles. What were some of the unexpected challenges or resistance points that you and your team encountered when going from this traditional waterfall outsourced software development into a agile, product-oriented, I would like to call it software native way of working that you were developing?
Yeah, the main like challenge was not really the contractors versus in-house engineers, but really the process, and the whole development process was very like waterfall. So we had maybe 11 plus different roles in the company. We had the business owner, and the business owner in some like business unit, they probably had someone like a project manager who put together the requirements document, and then we had a separate project management or product management team that didn't have anything to do with product management, but they were just translating one document to another. And then we had the business analyst and technical analyst, and we had the architect, and then we had the developers and then testers, and then we had application administrators and all that. So we turned this completely around. So we created a product team. So basically taking each one area in the business. One, for example, was for the core logistics, and we put together the product management, engineering, for some teams also UX design if there were any like user facing interfaces, and told them that we are not going to tell you what you need to build. You are accountable for the logistics efficiency. Those are your main KPIs. For example, the cost per delivered parcel or cost per sorted parcel. And together with the different stakeholders, you do your own prioritization. You create your own vision that will drive your like development direction for the next 3 years, and off you go. From the company's perspective, we decided that we will allocate, let's say, 20 people to this area, and that was it. Mm-hmm. And we did the same for the like digital channel and other areas as well.
So this really, first of all, it's an inspiring story, of course. So you went from like this very traditional waterfall role heavy setup into what I understood from now, which is like this product area cross-functional teams that were given accountability over business outcomes rather than a list of, requirements to fulfill, right?
Yes.
So with that, you needed to also develop this product thinking in your organization. So how did you then help these teams not only adopt this new way of working, which you were already describing, but also to adopt this more, holistic, product-oriented mindset?
Yeah. Like don't get me don't get the wrong impression that we are still in the transformation. So it's a long process. In some teams we are like already there. In some teams we are still like struggling. But the main challenge was really the question of accountability. Who is actually like driving the business, and also the product manager role was not really like understood here. And the product manager can be put into a very like weird position where they are not really doing the product management job, but they are really there to deliver more like a project manager. And I have seen it in so many like different companies. For me, the product manager is very clearly accountable directly for the business results. So either it's EBIT, it can be also efficiency. It can also be customer satisfaction. It really like depends on the team, but they must very clearly be accountable for the for some customer based or revenue based target. And to get there, it was a struggle, and the final step in this transformation happened only after I took over the CEO position, because until that time we still tried to boil two different soups in one kettle.
Yeah, I think that's a beautiful image, boiling two different soups in one kettle. And I want to take that statement that you just gave us, that the final transformation really started when you took the CEO role, because I think that's a message that doesn't get enough exposure, right? Like we very often talk about transformations, agile transformations that get stuck or stop altogether, or even reverse because of what we call lack of leadership support. I don't know if that's how you felt at the time, but I'm sure that you at least felt the accountability for the transformation. Otherwise, you wouldn't be the CEO today. How did that change, right? Like from the moment you understood, okay, something else needs to change, like how did that change in you? Because it's also a personal transformation to accept that, hey, if this is going to change, I really need to step up.
That was exactly so. I had a choice, either because I felt that I can't really deliver my and company's objectives. So in Agile, it's very simple to do it very like technically, and I call it like pseudo agile. So if you don't do this transformation across the company, and you do it only in a technology team, or it's a little bit better if you do it also on the product team. But if the whole business is not behind you, if the product managers are not given the true accountability, the change is not really happening. And yes, you can get technically faster deliveries, but all the like prioritization and the actually like getting the results out of it is not happening if the whole company is not really behind the product led agile process.
Yeah, and of course that means also that you need to then take a different perspective, a different set of things become important when you become the CEO, right? So let's dive into that a little bit, Martti. What changed the most when you went from CTO to CEO and now, of course, responsible for the transformation? What were the biggest changes in you and how you saw your work, your role, and the organization?
Yeah, for me now, my main tool is just talking. So I thought that I can still put some time into the technology and look at the architecture, look at the product priorities. This is not so. All I do is storytelling, both internally and externally, and then basically I'm the best salesman in the company. Mostly because of my C title as well, but I can open doors and I can make the change happen that others can't, and this is understanding that came through the practice, and really the top leader of the company needs to be behind the agile transformation. Otherwise, it's you are doing it only halfway, and you don't really like get the benefits out of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the second thing is what I do is really like removing blockers, getting people aligned, getting them behind the table, and yeah, all that, and of course. In government organization, also like we need to define the balance between the agility, between the moving fast, and the compliance, and all the like legal frameworks.
Absolutely. And I really like how you phrase it, right? Like my first job is storytelling, make sure everybody understands where we're going and that we're all aligned. My second biggest job is removing the obstacles. And I really like how you phrase that. It also reminds me that we as agile coaches, scrum masters, we need to take on that role at different levels in the organization, of course, but we also need to take on that role. What do you think of this idea that leading an agile transformation from the ground up, so maybe even starting as Scrum Master, Agile Coach, and then going through the organization, taking on more responsibility, eventually ending up as a CEO, that this would be a very valuable, let's say, career path to really understand and then be ready to manage larger organizations?
It's just definitely like opportunity, but you must understand that there is like only one CEO position in each company, and also in each level you need like completely like different skill set. You have a very like different drivers, all that. When I was in the CTO role, my focus was on building the best architecture, getting the agile process going, promoting product management practices, talking to customers, having quick iterations with prototypes, and all that. Now in the CEO role, completely different objective. Looking at the profitability, looking where we can get the new growth, all that. But in my toolbox, I have the like the technology know-how. I have the product team. I have this what I already built, and then now I can really like move much faster.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's a very important part of it. Another interesting perspective I want to explore as well is your perspective on annual reviews and the whole philosophy on performance and feedback in organizations. So tell us a little bit more about that, because I think it's a great story.
Yeah, for me, I have never like understood the value of annual reviews. Um, I think that the feedback needs to be given like immediately, and of course, like you need to have those like planning and sessions together with your team and then with people, and then do the retrospect and all that. But to have an annual review and and then give feedback to my team, and then say that, or to a specific person, and say that that last year, in May, you remember that project, your performance was not really the best. This is completely useless feedback. Um, mm, the other angle of the annual reviews is really that there is usually the component of some kind of 360 feedback, or some other like feedback from your peers, from your team. And in most organizations, what I see is that this feedback is anonymous. So, and this is again, for me, this has a very like little value. Again, the same example. Last year in May, you were running that project, and we have some colleagues that said that your communication was not the best. What can I do with this feedback? Firstly, I can't really fix it anymore because it's already in the past history. I can't really like help this project to succeed anymore, and I can't really like get the context out of it. So if like in my organizations, I have always promoted that all the feedback must be like given personally and immediately, and that way we all have the opportunity to really to learn and grow.
Yeah, I think that's a beautiful way to put it. Feedback must be given personally and immediately so that we can all grow. We're getting close to the end, but just one question. You've been part of other major transformations, not just at Omniva, but also Pipedrive, which became what we would call a unicorn these days. Looking back, when you think about those journeys, what are the key mindset aspects and practices that you have found for you useful when leading through complex change in organizations?
Yeah, and in Pipedrive, we also had the major culture shift. We had the classical structure where we had those like small teams, agile teams, usually like 5 to 7 engineers, and the, the issue was there that there was a very like little communication and alignment between them. It was very hard to, as the team was growing really fast, it was very hard to get the best practices shared and keep the architecture together. So basically, what I did there is I created the self-managed culture with much bigger teams and dynamic. We called them mission teams to basically to put for each project together a new team, and we didn't force the team structure and then people together, but really allowed engineers and then PMs to pitch, and engineers and other roles could actually join the team together. And then that way, the best practice is actually like we're like spreading across the company, because people from different teams actually had to work together in for the projects, and also the know-how on the architecture spread much easier as well. But that wasn't really the question. So the question was about
What are the critical mindset, the perspectives, and also the practices that you think help when leading these complex changes?
So firstly, you need to tell the story. You need it. You need to convince people that that they believe that this transformation is essential and needed. And the second thing is you need to trust. You need to let them make their own decisions. Um, mm, Even if there is if they make mistakes, then if you have this like open and healthy environment, then everybody can actually like learn from those mistakes and then quickly correct. then giving the accountability for the business outcomes to engineers is also the great way how you can actually empower the teams. And in Pipedrive, what I saw is that after introducing the mission framework, where the engineers actually took the mission lead role and were accountable for the customer behavior, or for example conversion rate or something like that. Then what I saw is that they were took it like so seriously that we had to like ask them to leave the offices and
and go home and to rest.
Yeah.
That is true. I mean, we ask for, of course, is to be given a chance to succeed. And if our let's say if the success is defined in business impact, this is incredibly motivating, no matter who we are, right? Like whether we're engineers or project managers or product managers, we all want to succeed. Martti, it's been a pleasure. We really want to thank you for being here on the show with us. Where can people find out more about you, about Omniva, and the work that you're doing there?
I think that the best place is look me up in LinkedIn, and you can just write me a message, and I'm ready to exchange ideas and listen if you have any interesting proposals.
Absolutely. And if you want to know more, there's a book coming out shortly with Martti's article that he so generously wrote for the Global Agile Summit book, which is coming up. Martti, once again, thank you very much for your generosity with your time and your knowledge.
Thank you.
All right, I hope you liked this episode. But before you hit next episode, here's the deal. This podcast is powered by people like you, the members who wanted more than just inspiration. They wanted real tools and real connection to people who are practicing Agile every day. We're talking access to over 700 hours of Agile Gold, CTO level strategy talks, summit keynotes, live workshops, e-courses, deep dive interviews, books, and if you're into no estimates, we got the pioneers of no estimates in those deep dive interviews as well. Agile business intelligence, creating product visions, coaching your product owner courses, you name it. You'll get invites to monthly live Q&As with Agile pioneers and practitioners, plus a private Slack community, which is free of all of that AI slop you see everywhere, and of course, without the flame wars. It's a community of practitioners that want to learn and thrive together. It's the best place to connect with community and learn together. So if this podcast has helped you before, imagine what you will get from this podcast membership. So head on over to scrummastertoolbox.org/membership and join the community that's shaping the future of Agile. And we have so much for you. So check out all the details at scrummastertoolbox.org/membership, because listening is great, it's important, but doing it together, that's next level. I'll see you in the community Slack.
We really hope you liked our show. And if you did, why not rate this podcast on Stitcher or iTunes? Share this podcast and let other Scrum Masters know about this valuable resource for their work. Remember that sharing is caring.